Welcome to EloTalk. In these new episodes of EloTalk, we are combining technology and humanism, engineers and emotions, the sustainability of the planet and the well-being of the people. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's pretty difficult, but we have accepted the challenge. So we are discussing the role of technology in creating a responsible and sustainable future. These two elements are connected. It's self-evident, and we know that. But then again, the road from words to deeds is not always that clear. And this is the picture that we are trying to clarify. We are making the significance of technology very concrete, and we are discussing what building a sustainable future for all requires both from people and technologies. Simple as that. And to talk about this, we have here two guests. Please welcome the Senior Vice President of Pharma Business Unit at Elomatic, Mona Åkerholm.
Hello.
Nice to see you here.
Nice to see you.
Welcome. And welcome the CEO of Naya Life Sciences, Miroslav Tonovski.
Hello.
Welcome as well.
Hello.
And the key questions I have for these two are, what if there were enough medicines for everybody in the world? And what if those medicines would be quite affordable? And what if the manufacturing of the medicines would be sustainable and energy efficient? So we have quite important questions to tackle here. But the first question for you both is very personal. Has there ever been a time when you have not received the medicine that you needed?
Actually, yes. One time.
But what happened?
Luckily they had a different, medicine to sell to me. But otherwise, I would have had to wait for a couple of weeks. And that's not nice when you need your regular medicine.
So there was a solution there.
Yes.
Yeah. What about Miroslav?
Never happened to me, frankly. But okay, I know that many people, let's say, are, especially for the vulnerable groups, they have maybe some issues, and there it's more difficult for them when they will not receive any medicines. I think in Europe we are more, let's say, like a privilege, because the facilities are providing medicines for all of us, but maybe for the rest of the world this is a more important question, and that's maybe we will have a chance to discuss today about how to provide this kind of medicines for maybe for the rest of the world.
Definitely. Let's focus on you two first. On a personal level, well, professional and maybe personal. I don't know what you're going to answer, so it's up to you. But how and where have you found your passion for the pharmaceutical industry? Why do you work the way you do and with the subject that you do at the moment?
Well, I started in the pharmaceutical industry really by accident.
Oh, okay.
Because I was young and I needed a job.
And you didn't know what you were doing.
Exactly. And suddenly I found myself in Sweden in a pharmaceutical industry and big investments. And I kind of felt that this was really important what I was doing. I mean, being a small part of a solution to get medicines to people, and all the companies and what they were doing, the development of new pharmaceuticals and all these kinds of things, it really intrigued me, and I've been in the business since that.
And now at Elomatic, your job is to
find new solutions still.
So you're following the same path.
Exactly. And it's so nice. I have almost 200 people working in the Pharma business unit, and I really admire the new solutions and developments they are finding out every day.
Yeah. So Miroslav.
Pretty much similar story by accident. Exactly. Some 20 years and more I have been I'm a mechanical engineer, so I never dreamed that I will be part of any pharmaceutical projects. So I was given a certain opportunity to work in one pharma company, starting as a supervisor. Immediately I found it that is a great opportunity for me. And I was about 15 years involved in the qualification activities and validation activities. So this is my other passion, let's say, which I'm having observing the projects from a different perspective and to see how our engineering teams are developing the projects from their starts, how they are planning and considering the energy efficiency, contamination control, and so on. Yeah, currently I'm working in Naya Life Sciences as a CEO of the company, and we have our own production teams, and I'm also really proud of all these teams to see how they're developing all these pharma projects.
Yes, and we're going to hear about the concrete solutions and the innovations that you are both sort of bringing to the market and to the world a bit later on. But maybe this concerns the meaning of your work in a way, but what does sustainability in the pharmaceutical industry mean to you personally?
It means a lot of things, I think. It's not only one. I mean, it's easy to remember that energy saving is the really important sustainability, but it's also, saving water or making pharmaceuticals available for people. But also maybe in the pharmaceutical industry, there's a tradition of using and then throwing away. So maybe recycling and using again and these kinds of things I think should be implemented more in the whole industry.
Yeah.
For me personally, let's say it's always a certain balance between efficiency and effectiveness of the let's say for the sustainability part. And for me, it is, let's say, in the pharma companies somehow nowadays try to optimize the production and with cost efficiency and with let's say waste control, what is generating from the pharma units.
How is the industry doing? Are you happy with what's happening?
Yeah, it is pretty much challenging days are coming. Let's say the pharma industry is blooming. Of course, there are certain changes which are visible every day. The pharma industry is transforming. That's something what we are seeing nowadays. They are more focused on certain new type of products. Every single pharma company is trying to reach to a new blockbuster. One of the let's say key points was there was a big competition when the let's say COVID times came, and with releasing as fast as possible the COVID vaccine and so on. So they're pretty much challenging times for us as engineering companies and production companies, because we have to reach and be in compliance with all the demands which are coming right now from the pharmaceutical companies to us.
And I actually think there's a really big contradiction here, because we were talking about the COVID vaccines and then how fast we needed to get that on the market and get facilities producing huge amount of vaccines. But on the other hand, we are talking about tailor-made medicines for example, cancer treatment and these kinds of things. And this needs really like small facilities and small production lines.
Yeah.
And so there's a big balance here. What you should do? And should you get a
Interesting
small payment for a lot of vaccines, or should you get a big payment for a really small batch of medicines?
Nowadays, yeah, that's true. A lot of startups there on the market, startups company with their new products, and then nowadays is also these kind of small facilities, effective facilities, are much more in demands rather than the big production facilities what the pharma industry was focused 20-30 years ago to build.
So now actually you're taking us to the core of our discussion. Very well done. Thank you very much. We're talking about sustainable pharmaceutical industry to secure affordable medicine for all. And what would you say that are the key challenges that need to be solved in order to achieve this goal that we're sort of trying to discuss here?
I would first ask you maybe a question.
Oh,
yes.
That's something new. Okay.
Affordable
Give it
medicine.
to me.
Yes. Affordable medicine. What does that mean? Because, I mean, affordable medicine is painkillers or antibiotics or these really common medicines that actually nowadays are almost available for everyone. Then we have the vaccines that we have discussed, for example, COVID vaccine, that most of the vaccines went to the richest part of the world, and not everyone could get the access to vaccines. But then we have these, like we said, these tailor-made pharmaceuticals, for example, for cancer treatment. Yeah. If you want to have that available for everyone, that is going to be a big challenge. So where is the level?
Yeah, and I understand that affordable means a different thing for different people.
Exactly, yes.
True. So what are the challenges? What needs to be solved?
This is also the challenges are also coming to the pharma industry as well, and the CEOs from the pharma industry, because they are actually planning the strategies for the all this medicine which they have to reach to the patients. Exactly, more facilities, their demands for let's say more flexible auditors, which they will approve the medicines on time. There plenty of aspects which are have to be considered, and this is something like companies as we are together with the pharmaceutical companies through many organizations, through seminars, we are working together how to make all these things more easier and more affordable.
What is the role of technology in solving all these challenges?
I think it's the key role. Because I've always said that if you get enough money and time for engineers, they will find a solution. And I still believe that.
So it's only a question of money at the end.
Exactly.
Anything can be achieved.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. But for example, when now you want to have a supply chain all over the world and actually distribute medicine for everyone, then you need to also, think about sustainable usage of water, for example, because the pharmaceutical industry, they have huge demands on water because everything needs to be clean and washed and so on. And nowadays there's actually a technology for doing production in plastic bags and single-use equipment. And in many other parts of the world, you can say that this is really not good. You should get rid of the plastic and so on. But on the other hand, in the pharmaceutical industry, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is more also about the process part, but as you said, Mona, technology is surrounding us and we really depend on the technology. And sometimes it's a big challenge for companies as we are to explain to our customers what are the benefits of introducing a new technology, especially for the clean room business. We are always debating with QA departments from the companies and the engineering departments from the companies to make to separate what is must and what is actually want. And usually the QA departments are saying this is must by this thing. They are just reducing the level of the equipment of the new technologies, and the engineers are trying to, let's say, introduce as much as possible new technologies with a focus on the energy savings and so on. But on the other hand, this is increasing the capital expenses, what Mona is saying, but is reducing the operational expenses. So the QA department in some cases does not agree with this point. So it's always a tricky job to convince both parties to find some balance.
It's a tricky job, and that's why we're here.
Exactly.
So now let's go to the next very tricky part. Now you get to explain what is it actually that your companies provide to the pharmaceutical industry at the moment to be more sustainable. What are the latest innovations or concrete solutions that you have come up with?
It's not a secret nowadays that the pharma companies would like to. One of the main priorities is to launch their new products with a warp speed as fast as possible. So there are plenty of solutions. What this is, on the other hand, this is motivating us to think about it, how to provide all these services, and we are really excited about all these demands from the pharma companies. So we have, let's say, we are in this part of the sustainability, we have, let's say, our energy savings we are considering, and on the other hand, we have to have a more competitive prices at the end of the day to convince the customers to work with us. So we are, let's say, providing from the production part. We are focusing from the production part. We have our own facility. It's covered with a solar panel, so that we are providing our own green energy, so that we are reducing the cost for the energy in the production. We are having, let's say, our engineering teams works on the details of the product, so we have no waste generation at the facilities. The deliveries are more practical when we are delivering the goods to the customer. We are using our own installation teams, and the products which we are delivering to the pharma companies are always somehow utilized to keep the contamination control in the limits, and at the same time to provide energy efficiency.
And I think one really key thing is also the automation and automated processes in the pharmaceutical industry. So there you have, we are making smaller isolators, for example, to be able to produce medicine in a very safe and clean environment and not have people involved anymore. And for example, robots also that actually are doing this. I mean, you see it in the car industry, for example, already, but it's coming into the pharmaceutical industry that has been very manual labor before. And this is also interesting. We are also using AI for R&D, for example, to sort out good pharmaceuticals that could actually benefit people and these kinds of things. So there's a lot going on, I think, in this market.
Actually, I was just about to ask that everybody's talking about AI, the artificial intelligence, and the virtual reality, VR. How big is the role of these buzzwords and new technologies that we're witnessing in every industry?
About the artificial intelligence, okay, these all new technologies are somehow are all around us, and but still we have to be aware that the pharma industry is a little bit rigid in the new things. So as Mona said, it can be used let's say VR for the proper designing but at the same time, what we are trying to use it's something like a paperless solutions for our protocols for qualification, which means that by this approach we are reducing as much as possible paperwork, printing during the qualification activities, which we are hand over the final protocols to the end user. So
Now, for example, when we are doing the design of facilities, nowadays you can actually before you made a layout and then you made a 3D model. But nowadays with the VR glasses and so on, you can actually move inside and find out where is the tricky parts, where you need to, put more effort in doing the design and optimize the movement of people, or where you could actually use a robot, some work that you could do
actually,
all the time.
We have a video about this, don't we?
Yes.
Maybe we could watch it here. It is about the CFD calculations. So the question is that how you can simulate and optimize the clean room environment.
Exactly.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
The advancement of VR technology has made the once impossible possible. Thanks to cutting-edge applications, you can now step into a virtual factory before it's even built. Experience the power of the present as immersive and interactive VR application. VR allows you to visualize and explore your factory with unparalleled realism and precision. Through the magic of VR, you can enter a world where the factory plans come alive in a three-dimensional virtual environment. This incredible technology provides you with an immediate and detailed understanding of the layout, functionality, and flow of your future facility. With a simple glance, you can identify potential issues, suggest improvements, and provide instant feedback. This real-time interaction saves you valuable time and empowers you to make necessary adjustments before construction even begins. By seamlessly integrating computational fluid dynamics simulations and production simulations, you can optimize material flows and design proper ventilation for critical workspaces, enhancing efficiency and productivity. Collaboration is further enhanced as different production groups, like users and designers, actively participate in the virtual inspection process. Their expertise, combined with the insights provided by VR, CFD and production simulations, allows for informed decision-making, resulting in a facility that operates at its highest potential. This proactive approach results in significant cost savings, improved productivity, and a streamlined construction process.
That was interesting to see. Muna, what can be achieved by using VR like this in the modeling process? What are the concrete results that you can achieve by doing this?
Yeah, in the film you saw, it was actually two different things. It was the VR that can help you with organizing and planning how to work inside a facility. But then we also had the CFD calculation. And like Miroslav also have said that it's important to minimize the amount of particles within the clean rooms because the pharmaceuticals need to be very clean. And by calculating how they move around in the clean rooms, you can actually see that what kind of shape should this room be in, or where could you place the robot or manufacturing equipment or these kinds of things, and then you can optimize. So you don't need to change the air in the room so often, and this will reduce energy a lot. So this is really concrete results of what we are doing, and our actually for the CFD calculation you need huge amount of computer power and efficiency. So this is really a new thing for us.
Yes. The main target in the farm in designing the clean rooms is to let's say reach to a number of particles inside the clean room itself, and we as a engineering part, we do not want to over-design the facility, and by this kind of approach using a CFD, we can minimize the number of air changes, which will reduce the energy, but at the same time we will keep into the limits what the classification or clean room classification is requiring.
So what are the key measures what are the key indicators that you measure?
In the first thing, it is the cleanliness level. So that's the main factor when we are doing the clean room. So that it has to reach to a certain number of particles, not to exceed the number of particles, viable and non-viable particles. So by this approach, we are having, let's say, designing the number of air changes into the clean room. At the same time, we have to keep a certain number of differential pressures between the clean rooms, and these, let's say, higher differential pressures are better protecting the room from, let's say, contamination, but at the same time increasing the energy demands. So this is always a certain balance, and the whole design is done, our engineers are doing by using a certain risk assessment from the beginning, from the, let's say, startup of the design until the end up of the design.
And in addition, we need to remember the operators that are actually working in in the clean room. They are also, I mean, we are producing pharmaceuticals that will cure you from some kind of disease, and we don't want the operators there in the factory to have take that medicine when they are not ill. So this is also an extremely important thing in the.
But I have a really important question for you. Yes or no, for both of you. Is your work contributing to the making the medicines more affordable?
Yes. A tiny bit.
I was just about to ask how much.
A really tiny bit, I would say. But we are working all the time on the awareness in the industry and bring forward to our customer all the new solutions that are possible and how to improve their efficiency, and especially within the energy sector.
Yeah, even it's a small contribution, but still our engineering teams, and we have also a pharmacist working in our company. So we are focused also on the product type. So we are helping for the pharma industry or for the customer not to over-design its facility. So to reduce at least the capital expenses and to minimize the operational expenses. By this approach, we are supporting our, let's say, customers.
If we think about the key question that we had for this discussion, it was that how can we make medicines available and affordable for all? What else needs to happen in order for this goal to be achieved? Who else has to do something, and what do they need to do?
Everyone has to
So
do
you have a
something.
message for the world now.
Yes, a message for the world. I think we should share more all over the world. So like they were saying with these COVID vaccines, that we had excess of them in the rich world, and the poorer world couldn't get them. So why? You can ask, why couldn't the supply chains actually make sure that it was distributed evenly? I don't know. Then I think also a big player is the local authorities in every country, because they are, responsible for if a pharmaceutical can be used in this country, and if they approve them, and also about, for example, packaging. So in Finland, for example, when we need to have Finnish and Swedish in all the packaging languages, they say it's very expensive to produce this kind of package for pharmaceuticals in Finland.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. What else, Miroslav? Who needs to do and what?
I think it's everybody. I agree. It's a general question. Everybody we have to be involved, and everybody we have to invest to save. This is something like a motto for myself. We need to invest in trainings. We need to invest in people. We need to invest in more seminars with the MOH, with more let's say communication with the end user. I agree with Mona that. Let's say there are a lot of rules which need to be obeyed, but at the same time, this is for the safety of the patients at the same time, because there are plenty of good companies, but there are also some companies which they are not reached to the standards and they just want to penetrate to the market. So certain rules must exist, but our task it is with the communication together with the pharmaceutical companies to find a way to make all these things more or regulations more easier.
Are you happy with the cooperation in the whole supply chain at the moment? Is there a room for improvement?
I think there's a lot of room for improvement. The pharmaceutical sector is quite old-fashioned, I would say, and maybe bringing in new solutions and look better at the supply chains and try to maybe optimize different things than what is actually optimized nowadays could be a good way to start.
Yeah, I forgot the question.
Is there room for improvement in the cooperation in the whole supply chain?
Of course, yeah. There is we are, let's say, facing every day this room for cooperation, and we are giving also the ideas to the pharmaceutical companies how to accelerate their projects with a proper planning. Usually the customers wants to have everything for tomorrow, but in reality there are plenty of other players or other technology suppliers which pardon me, which needs to provide this kind of equipment for the facility to be built, and finally the customer to start producing with their medicines there.
I think Miroslav has a really key point, and why we are actually here also is to plan in advance. So even if you are in a hurry, you should actually really put some effort in planning before you're doing, and this is important.
What if you had no boundaries concerning your imagination or concerning resources or anything? What are the wildest ideas that you have in order to be able to give and provide medicine for all and do it cheaply?
Yeah, this is really a tricky question, and it's a risky.
I think it's very easy because you have no boundaries now.
Yeah, that's I will explain why it's tricky, because people will see us and say, okay, these guys have no imagination, or they're really lucrative at the same time. Yeah, but I will say what is something what I believe that it may happen in the near future, and what I wish for, it is the 3D printing, if I may say that, because imagine this kind of how the facilities will be provide it fast from the engineering, let's say, tools or programs, and immediately to be transformed to the facilities of the end user. So there will be no supply chain, there will be no, let's say, issues with changing the materials, there will be no flaws on the design. So I think 3D printing may be something which will come in the future in the next 20, 50 years from now.
I think that's a great idea, but I have another one.
Is it a better one, or
I don't know, but it's maybe a little bit longer way in the future.
Okay.
I'm imagining a costume that is actually measuring how you are doing both physically and mentally, today. And if you have a fever or something, it will actually, analyze what could be wrong with you. And then they say that you should have now an antibiotic or something, and then you will say, okay, I will pay for an antibiotic, and then someone is bringing it to you.
Interesting. Actually, now I came up with a final question for you. How do you feel physically and mentally after this discussion?
Very well, I think. It was really nice discussion.
I'm going for episode 3.
Yes. Sounds good.
Thank you to both of you for this insightful discussion. And thank you, everybody there watching via your screens. And what should I say to the end? I hope you all get the medicine you need when you need it, and I hope you can afford it. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much.